Jews like Ben Shapiro bring up two arguments while rejecting Jesus Christ as the Jewish Messiah. In his conversation with Dr. William Lane Craig, this is what Ben Shapiro said.
Real gap here is that in the Gospels, Jesus' vision of himself as the Messiah is completely different from the prior vision of what the Jewish Messiah is, and is actually outside the scope of how Jews describe the Messiah, or really have ever described the Messiah. The Messiah in Judaism has always been a political figure who is destined to do certain things, restoring the kingdom of Israel, maintaining control of that kingdom, bringing more Jews back to Israel. All of these things are considered sort of political things that the Messiah does.
Have you noticed these errors? There are two errors. First is about presenting Judaism as a monolithic entity. Second is related to the mission of the Messiah as the political deliverer. It's not the case. Judaism at the time of Jesus Christ in the first century was comprised of at least four sects: Sadducees, Pharisees, Zealots, and Essenes. The Sadducees were politically the most powerful. They controlled the temple worship and had deep connections with the Roman rulers. They only believed in the first 5 books of Moses, the Torah. They never believed in messianic concept at all. The Zealots, on the other hand, they wanted political freedom from Roman rule and preferred military action. They sort of expected Messiah to be a military leader, a political deliverer who would end Roman oppression. Essenes separated themselves away from the rest of the Jewish community and lived in secluded communities like Qumran. They had different expectations of the Messiah. They held diverse views. They believed in priestly Messiah, royal Messiah, suffering Messiah, dying Messiah, and even rising Messiah. In fact, Messianism was big among the Essenes. But these three groups were completely eliminated with the destruction of the Jerusalem temple and the destruction of the rebellion under Bar Kokhba in the 2nd century AD. What survived the Roman onslaught was the Pharisees. What the Jews hold today as Judaism descends primarily from this one sect of ancient Judaism and doesn't represent the diverse views Jews held about the Messiah in the first century. In the first century context, the Christian understanding of Jesus as Messiah perfectly fits. In fact, the modern Jewish views have evolved after the growth of Christianity, and the conception of Messiah or his mission by the Jews today are mostly coming to us from the medieval times, not from the first century Judaism.